Hi, friend. Welcome. My name is Sarah. I'm the founder of Chancy Charm. We're a national wedding planning and design firm with planners located across the country. We've been in business for well over a decade. And today I'm excited to answer a question that I get a lot inside of my Planner Academy. So I've hosted a Planner Academy since 2014. Proud to say that. Over 6,000 planners are a part of that community, receiving emails from me every week and education, and I love it. I love helping new and established planners launch and grow their business, their team, their mission, their vision. So, one of the most popular questions I get all the time inside of the academy is, how much does a wedding planner make? Especially, this is really, really key when people are first diving in. And I remember, being new to planning and talking to planners that were successful in my mind and kind of saying, like, well, how many weddings are you doing a year? And kind of trying to figure out like what was normal, what was sustainable, and how much they were making, so that I knew kind of what the ceiling, or really what I could expect for my family from this business. Because while I love wedding planning and while I loved serving clients so much, I really felt called to it. I also wanted to financially contribute to my family, and my husband wanted me to as well. So nobody wants that hobby that doesn't make any money. So we don't want that for you either. I really, really want you to be able to know kind of what you're getting into. If you have this question, if you're trying to set goals, I'm super passionate about goals because early on in my career, I saw a pattern of burnout in the industry that was startling for me. I saw failed marriages. I saw just distress and stress, anxiety, because people didn't know, again, what to expect, what kind of goals to set. They were kind of hamsters on a wheel. Enough was never enough. I don't want that for you. I want you to feel some clarity about this. So I pulled up some numbers, kind of trying to figure out on the internet what the internet was saying a planner would make. And so what I found was that the knot.com said that you would make 1,700. It would be an average wedding planner rate. Shutterfly said 1,800, and Loverly said 3,000. Wedding Wire says couples typically spend at least 1,500 on planning, with full planning running around 3,000. To be honest, I think that these averages are pretty low. I do think that you can charge more than this for your services, but I'm also coming at this from a very realistic perspective of, I charged $300 for my first two weddings that I did for day of coordination or month of coordination. So there's no judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone. And so when I was new in planning, kind of how I would think about it, and this is how I coached my new planners when they were launching new locations and diving into planning, was an average month of, it takes about 30 hours. So let's say you're working at Starbucks making $10 an hour and you're going to work 30 hours. How much would you make? Let's try to make that $15 an hour for you as a planner. So really, we started with low expectations to just get in the door, to get some clients booked. And a lot of people don't like that I'm going to say this, honestly, because planners are like, well, we all need to stay to industry standards. But when you're new and you're just trying to get experience, you shouldn't be charging as much as someone who has 10 years of experience. So my goal was to make more than I was making in my job, which I was working in marketing events at Chick-fil-A, also getting paid hourly. And I also looked at the broader perspective of, could I get this wedding published? So could I generate new leads with this wedding? Or could I make some really great vendor connections and get a great review from this wedding? So there's more than just the dollar amount that I was getting with those first weddings. And that is something I love to share with planners because I think it's so important. But that said, I do think that the numbers that are out on the internet are pretty low, because we like to start our full planning and design at least at $4,000, and a lot of our month of clients are paying $2,000. We are located in bigger cities, and that does matter. So Chancy Charm is specifically located in a lot of really big cities like Atlanta, New York, DC, and that's because we specialize in destination weddings and clients that are finding us online. And so we are able to charge more than someone who is located in a rural area. So, again, you have to be realistic. I think it's always great to kind of do some digging in your area and find out how much other planners are charging. That's going to help you really know not the internet's numbers, but your numbers. Just some food for thought. When you're doing full planning and design, a lot of planners like to charge between 10 and 20% of the overall wedding budget for their services, or 10 to 15. Again, the internet versus kind of what I've heard, it's always different. But 10 to 15, we kind of stuck between 11 and 12% for full planning and design. And a lot of planners like doing this percentage model because if the budget increases, they're going to get paid more. We actually kind of work backwards in this aspect at Chancy Charm. We like to charge one upfront flat fee. So this can be dangerous because basically when we sit down with the client at the beginning of the consultation process and we're trying to figure out how much we're going to charge, we really have to be educated on the true cost of what they're looking for in their wedding with local vendors and venues. So if we're sitting down there telling us they have a $30,000 budget, but they want a tinted, outdoor reception ceremony where they're going to have to rent a floor, they're going to have to rent bathrooms, they want a film photographer, which is always more expensive, all these things, then in my mind, I'm saying this is not a $30,000 wedding. And so what I'm going to do during the consultation proposal process is I'm going to try to educate them on the actual cost of the wedding they want. And we're going to charge, 12% of that actual cost of what the wedding they're looking for is going to cost. And they can push back on that. They can say, you know what, Sarah, we actually cannot spend $90,000 or $100,000 in this wedding. We are going to have to stick to $30,000. Okay, well, let's kind of redo the budget and then our pricing will be fit into that budget accordingly. Now, again, we do start our full planning and design at $4,000. So that is a minimum, even if they have a lower budget, to protect ourselves because we know how much work is going to go into full planning and design. So we charge the upfront flat fee. And the reason why we do that is because I never want a client to feel like we are trying to increase the budget as we plan with them. I want to have so much trust with our clients. So having a flat fee, in my opinion, really helps set the stage for we're in this together. We've done the consultation. We've got an idea of what you're looking for. We've created a great budget. Our price is in that budget. Some planners will say, I don't want to create a budget before they sign the dotted line. I say, I've already done a bunch of work to get them to this point. I want to get them over the finish line. I want to get that contract signed. I've signed a lot of really big budget weddings and big proposals with this method of going ahead and making out the budget based on my knowledge, putting my fee in there, explaining our services, explaining our value in this process. And then we start on the same page and we're working together to make sure that we keep costs in line with what they're envisioning, or, we're getting them what they want and we're not doing it manipulatively. So that's my soapbox for the day, guys, on the upfront flat fee for full planning and design. But kind of take that into consideration as you start thinking about, okay, how much can I charge? How much can I make? What's your target client? How much are they spending on their wedding? This is going to affect how much you're making, especially in full planning and design. So some food for thought is that there are planners out there that just specifically focus on day of or month of coordination. Why would they do this? Well, they do this because it is and can be a little bit less time consuming and stressful, because essentially you're helping a client wrap up their wedding planning and you're getting them through that wedding day. So it's a smaller time commitment, like I said, about 30 hours, as opposed to full planning and design, which is a lot more meetings, a lot more walkthroughs, a lot more emails, a lot more calls, and it just is a lot more work. So if you're a planner who's new and you're kind of trying to ease into this because you're still teaching or you're a full-time mom, full planning and design might be something you work towards, and starting with day of and month of might be a great idea for you. That's what I did. It also helped me get vendor connections, it get published, and kind of ease into things. So really, really recommend that. But if you're doing that, you have to know your earning potential is going to be less because you're only able to charge, let's say, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 for your day of services until you get more experience. So what money is going to be going out in your business? Well, as a wedding planner, so you have this money coming in and there's going to be money going out because every business has expenses. For me, my marketing and website costs are my largest expenses. If I want to invest in myself, which I have over and over again, paying for education, getting your business registered, paying for insurance. Little tidbit there, I have professional liability and general liability insurance. Happy to share those contacts. Message me on this video, shoot me an email. Those things are important to have a legitimate business where you're protected personally. So, and then if you have people day of helping you, employees, so there is money going out. I don't feel like it's a large percentage of your money going out if you're managing your expenses well. However, it is something to take into consideration, setting aside some money for taxes. So anyways, I wish that I could just give you like, hey, this is how much a wedding planner makes. But really what I'm going to challenge you to do in this video is to think about what kind of weddings you want to do, where you're located, what's your target client spending on their wedding. So feasibly how much you can charge for your services, the services you want to provide, month of or full planning and design, and what kind of market you're in, what are the average planners charging in your area or new planners charging in your area, and then how many weddings can you do in a year while remaining sane. So just a little to throw it out there because again, I appreciated it when people were honest with me as a new planner. But I actually talked to a planner who I felt like was extremely successful, and she was doing 15 full planning and design weddings a year. That is a lot of work. That's a big commitment. That's a really great number to keep in mind if you're new. And when it comes to day of, do you want to do 1 or 2 weddings a month? That's a great number to keep in mind. And so kind of work through these things and you're going to be able to come to a really healthy idea of what is going to be possible for you to make every year as a planner. Inside my academy, I do a lot of teaching planners how to launch with the right marketing techniques so that they have a lead flow that allows them to reach their goals. I'm a marketing Google nerd, and so I love talking about that. I love talking about the planning and logistics too, but this is kind of my sweet spot. So I hope that this provided some clarity for you where you are in your career and in your location. And I would love for you to check out the Academy and join me in my Facebook group.